Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom. Alright, we're going to start off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rikah Kadash. Yahweh been the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shah been the name of His only begotten Son, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Now we're going to start it off with Jeremiah 28 and 8. Jeremiah 28 and 8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many nations and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. I'm going to read that again. Said the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesy both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. So the prophets always came out and warned the people, prophesied against these great kingdoms, which we living in the kingdom of America, the American Empire. See, this is the empire that America is running. It's a world power. Now, let's see here. Let's identify this empire. This is Ezekiel 35, starting with verse 2. It says, Son of man, set your face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. So it's naming the kingdom that we prophesying against. It says, and say unto it, thus says the Lord, the Most High, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against you, and I will stretch out my hand against you, and I will make you most desolate. Okay, and let's go get Mount Seir, because I went into the AI, and they tried to make it seem like Mount Seir is some land mass, and Edom is some land mass. No, Edom and Mount Seir is not a land, it's a people. Let's go, Genesis 36 and 8, it says, thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom, and these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir. See, Mount Seir is talking about the Edomites. It's not talking about no land of the Edomites, well, where they used to stay back in the day. See, and when they was about a Jordan. No, this is a future prophecy. That's why he's talking about prophecy. Prophesy against these kingdoms, this great kingdom, and we prophesying on when he's going to come back and cause war. Let's go into Matthew real quick. Let's set a foundation of what time period we talking about. See, that's another thing with the AI and chat GBT or whatever you want to call it. You got to go into the time period, because they'll try to focus on Babylon and Assyria. We're not talking about Babylon and Assyria. We're going to show you the time period that this is talking about. This is Matthew 24 and 23. I mean in verse 3. Matthew 24 and 3, it says, as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of your coming and of the end of the world? See, this is end time prophecy. We prophesying against the kingdom That's going to be in the end time, when war is going to come upon this kingdom. Okay, look at verse 6. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. See, because he going to have all kind of wars that's going to be going on. See, Mount Seir, Edom, the Edomites. They the ones going to be causing these wars. They the ones that's going to be going to war. See, and we talking about this American empire. We know they done had all kind of wars. The Revolutionary War, the Civil War, the World War I, World War II, the Korean War. See, the Vietnam. They had all these wars. Iraq. See, they the one pushing the wars in the world. This is why we know who is Mount Seir. The Arabs is not pushing the war, man. And they always trying to put Esau, Edom on the Arab. He is not, they are not pushing the war. See, America and these small hat, tiny hat Israelis, been not a Jew. He the one pushing these wars. He been pushing these wars, and they've been pushing these wars since the America's beginning. Verse 7, it says, for this Matthew 24:7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. See, this is what is going on. We prophesying against these kingdoms in the end. That's going to be in the end of the world. Not some Babylon crap back in the day. See, these prophecies had a dual fulfillment. Just because something happened one time in the scriptures don't mean it wasn't going to happen again. They have dual fulfillment. See? And let's go into, I want to get that Ezekiel and go into that Ezekiel 38. Now, when it talks about in Ezekiel 35, prophesy against Mount Seir, the Edomites, 38 is talking about the same thing, but you got two divisions of Edomites. See, you got the 4 horns and you got the 4 carpenters. Both of these are Edomites that's going to fight against each other and kill one another, like he said in Revelation 6 and 4. And this one identifies where these Edomites will be at. It located them in the land of that was named after Japheth's son. It's Ezekiel 38 and 2, and it has the same language as Ezekiel 35. It says, son of man, set your face against God. See, just like he said, set your face against Mount Seir, the Edomites. He said, set your face against God. And who do people say God is? Russia. It says, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against it, and say, thus says the Lord the Most High, behold, I am against you, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. This is what it's talking about. Now, going into who Russia's allies is going to be, which is going to be pretty much all the kings of the east, like Revelation 16 and 12, I think, say that he's preparing the way of the kings of the east. Because these kings in the west, these western powers, this American empire, they the ones that's going to be destroyed. But the Lord is going to be working with these Russians. And he going to add on these other nations that he added on in verse 5. This is Ezekiel 38 and 5, Persia, Ethiopia, Libya with them, and all them that with shield and helmet. So all these other nations is going to join onto Russia. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for yourself, you and all your company that are assembled unto you, and be thou a guard unto them. This is why Russia is giving all of their military weapons and all of their help to these other nations, their allies, Iran, and China, and North Korea. See, he helping these people out because they his allies, and he gonna protect them and be a guard unto them. guard them against Babylon the Great America, who's been pretty much infiltrated by these small hats, or they tag teaming with the small tiny hat peoples over there. See, these parasites that's feeding off the these so-called Americans. Now that's a war between the two Edomite powers. That's why they say prophesy against Edom or Mount Seir, the whole nation we prophesying against. Plus we gonna prophesy against the winning nation, because they gonna end up beating America and blowing America to the smithereens. Okay, that's what Revelation 17 and 16 is talking about. Let me get that real quick. This is Revelation 17 and 16. It says, Revelation 17 and 16, and the 10 horns which you saw upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. This is why Europe is starting to hate the whore. See, Europe is saying, man, you people trying to take over Greenland and Venezuela and all these people land without going into the Congress and without following the international laws. See, y'all trying to be a world bully, and we not gonna stand for it. We gonna join Russia, and we gonna kick your behind. Now, while this is brewing, see, let's go to Joel, because Joel set the whole foundation. See, why is this war raging on? This Joel 3 and 1, it says, for behold, in those days. See, this is gonna get the context. What's gonna be happening in these end times, in these last days? It says, in those days, and at that time, when I will bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. See, he finna deal with that slavery situation. Verse 2, it says, I will also gather all nations. So while he dealing with the slavery and the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, the war is gonna be raging on. The war is gonna be developing. He says, and I will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, who they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. See, no church was scattered among the nations. See, the blood Israelites was scattered among the nations, beat, raped, robbed, and murdered, man, by the so-called white men, these Catholic priests ordaining these people to go out there and just slaughter people. Christopher killing Columbus, going around slaughtering these people for sport. See, he the one started kicked the whole thing off, where he going around slaughtering people, chopping off their limbs, trying to see who got the sharpest sword, slicing these native peoples, knowing where they was at. He was following the Apocrypha, which these Christians trying to hide now, talking about it ain't canon. See, he was reading it and finding out where these Israelites was at. So while you got the captivity going on with the Israelites, you got this war raging on. I'm gonna jump down to verse 9. It says, this Joel 3 and 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. So this is what he was telling Gog in the land of Magog in Ezekiel 38. Prepare for war, because there's a war going down. This last kingdom of the Edomites, see, this American empire fighting against this Russian adversary, is all these Edomites fighting against each other. And then I'm going to make them gather together in the valley of Jehoshaphat, see, and I'm going to make them kill each other. But while this is going on, it's a whole nother situation brewing, because you got the nation of Israel in the captivity, see, and this is why he gathering them together and making them go to war with each other. It says, let's see here, let me get into that. This Jeremiah, I'm gonna start with Jeremiah. Let's start with 6. Because why this war is raging on? Because it's getting intense for the captivity. For the Israelites that's in captivity. Everything is getting intense. It's getting to the climax. the end. You know what? Let me get that Ezekiel 35 first. Because this is going to tell you what's going to be going on. This is Ezekiel 35 and 5. It says, because you have had a perpetual hatred and have shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity. See, this is talking about in the time of their captivity. It's going to be a lot of blood being shed of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. This is why they're getting ready to surround the Israelites, like in Luke 21 and 20. The armies is compassing Jerusalem. Just like they compass Jerusalem, they compassing these Israelites. It says, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. See, it's going. When you talking about the end, see, their iniquity didn't have an end in Jerusalem. See, that iniquity just was beginning. See, now at the end of their iniquity, when Esau is finna get destroyed, the nation of Edom and American Empire is finna get destroyed. This is when they iniquity is coming to an end. And they're going to be shedding the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. Now I'm getting at Jeremiah 30 and 6. See, they don't compass the nation of Israel, see, with their armies, man. First, let's go into all these states and start setting up. Talking about some drugs and gangs and all this crap. Then we're going to go back in on these immigrants. See, now, see, we're going to go back and forth with this thing. Get the National Guard and start setting up for these Negroes. So that's the real battle. But we gonna just get the battle going a little bit with these darn Hispanics, the Northern Kingdom. This is Jeremiah 30 and 6. It says, ask ye now and see whether a man do travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loin, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Then I heard a dragon talking about something. Oh, see, the Bible say that all faces can be pale. That don't mean just because all faces can be pale. There's some people face pale all the time. See, when they talking about that pale horse. See, John was talking about a pale people. But anyways, in verse 7, it says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. See, but he shall be saved out of it. The elect is going to be saved out of his trouble. But the one that wasn't elected and chosen, see, these people is going to have a war with they behind. They're going to be in these streets killing each other, and they're going to be being deleted by the force of the sword. See, by the Mount Seir, Esau, Edom, the soul who they calling themselves white people, talking about you pure, calling yourself a color. You not a color. You got a forefather, that name was Esau. See, Edom, a nation of people, not no freaking color, man. It says, for it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord of hosts, Yahweh, that I will break his yoke from off your neck. So this is the end of the Israelites' captivity. When the Lord is gonna break the yoke off their neck, they gonna be in trouble. You're gonna have the so-called white man knowing that his kingdom is falling. They $30 trillion in debt. See, their dollar is done crashed. They trying to prop it up and play all kind of games with the system. See, they don't got no kind of structure going on with their economy. And I got a verse for that too. That's when all heck is gonna break loose. When your money ain't worth nothing. And he know his time is short. He know it's game over. So now he finna pull out that sword and get in the destroying Jacob. Genesis 27 and 41. He said, now when my daddy die, man, I'm gonna kick your behind, Jacob. Because you done stole the blessing. You got the blessing. See, this is what he's saying in his head, even though he the one volunteered and sold it. Said, no, you can have that stupid blessing. Anybody thinking about no blessing or no birthright or none of that crap, man. You can have it. He gave it to Jacob because he didn't care nothing about it. But now, once he realized what the blessing is all about, he is real mad. But let's go ahead and get that Zephaniah 1 and 10. And it's written in parabolic language, but it's talking about the fall of Babylon the Great, America, the American Empire. In Zephaniah 1 and 10, it says, and it shall come to pass in that day, says Yahweh, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate. See, and that cry is saying, man, we done went bankrupt. See, the money ain't worth nothing. Inflation has done went too high. It's about to go hyperinflation. If we don't do something quick, rob everybody that we can rob and start doing all kind of witchcraft and sacrifices to the spirit world. It says, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. See, that dollar, it done crashed, man. And they trying to fight with all their might to try to save it. Let's attack the Negroes, kick everybody out the country, start taking all of these benefits away from these people that we was giving them. Forget all of this aid we giving all these other countries. Let's start buying up other countries and taking their resources. See, attacking them. We need to do everything we can to try to make a comeback. Verse 11, it says, howl, ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down. See, that's why they is consolidating everything under BlackRock. They got a BlackRock. This man managing 10 trillion freaking dollars. Why is this one man managing 10 trillion dollars? He got a bunch of flunkies that's under him. And then they're going to set him up over the, what's it called, the place? The WEF, see, the World Economic Forum. They're going to put him over there because Carl Schwab, he done got a bad rep. See, the internet is undefeated. They done call him all kind of names and demonize him to the max. So we need somebody else we can throw out there. So by the time people latch on to Larry Finch and find out that he got all this power, or they done put him in some kind of seat of power, it'll be too late. It says, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off. See, nobody ain't making no money. Their money is pretty much none and void, and the only thing they got is military. But see, these other nations got militaries too, and they finna spend every dime while they can to upgrade on their military. Let me go into, what is this? That was in Joel. Go back to Joel. See, all these people is throwing everything they got in their military and preparing for this war that's raging on. But see, now that they know that their time is coming to an end, they ready to get on these Israelites. This Joel 3 and 10, it says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So all these weak nations who Trump said, we just go over there to Greenland and take it over. See, we forget what Denmark got to say in Europe, and we don't care nothing about no Europe. If it wasn't for us, Europe wouldn't be there. See, all this kind of stuff. We came to save your life when Adolf Hitler was gonna kick your behind. He trying to make it seem like everybody need him and they need to be grateful for what America done did for them. But these nations ain't hearing that. They gonna get with Russia and they gonna keep hating the whore, Babylon the Great America, and blow her behind up. Now, I want to get that Which one is it? Let's blow this place up. Isaiah 14 and let's see, which one is it? Oh, verse 10. Isaiah 14 and 10. It says, all they, talking about these other nations, shall speak and say unto you, are you also become weak as we? See, they saying we got weapons too now. Iran said we got a city, an underground city full of nukes, man. What you talking about? Think we scared of you? We got Pakistan backing us up. As soon as you think we just 95 million people. We got a whole nother 300 million people in Pakistan ready for your behind, man. See, we the Persian empire. See, we just broke up a little bit, but when it come to crunch time, we gonna be 300, 400 million strong on your behind, and we got Russia, your cousin, backing us up. This is Isaiah 14 and 10. It says, "Are you become like unto us?" See, now these Americans and with their government, they ain't over nobody, man. They struggling and they scrambling and they desperate. Let's get that Revelation 12 and 12. That's what I was looking for. Revelation 12 and 12, it says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens." And the Israelites is the real heavens. It says, "And ye that dwell in them, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wealth, because he know that he has but a short time." See, they know that their time is short, and they ready to hurry up. Let's go door to door and get these immigrants. Let's bring the National Guard on these Negroes. We need to hurry up and get them. See, we don't need to drag our feet with this situation. We're giving you what you call it? He said he giving them immunity. See, you can, if you blow somebody's head off, don't worry, we're gonna give you immunity for the situation. We're not gonna take you to jail. We just want you to get rid of these Israelites. See, they speaking in code when they every interview, man, they be speaking in code, trying to let their people know, man, this is the time y'all been waiting on, because we done heard the police officers talking about we can't wait till we can let loose on these Negroes. See, they've been waiting for the operation, man. That's why when Christopher killing Columbus came over here, all the people was helping them. Let's see who got the sharpest sword. Let's chop off some hands and heads and all kind of stuff. Now, let's go to 2nd Ezra. 2nd Ezra 15 and 1. Let's start off at the top. It says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in your mouth, says the Lord." Now, when you go into Ezra was he was one of the ones that stood up for the Israelites and was giving them back the law. Now, when you go in the book of Ezra and Nehemiah, this is during the time when they was rebuilding the temple after they came out of Babylon, and the Persians told them, the Iran and Pakistan told them to y'all go ahead and go rebuild y'all temple. Okay, and told the people, we don't need no help building our temple. We gonna build our temple by ourselves. And Ezra stood up and said, "Hey man, here go the law. See, and this is what we gotta do." So this is the Ezras that these dragons think they gonna just take out the Bible. Oh, it's not canon. It's not canon. What you talking about? It's not canon. You ignoramus. This is 2nd Ezra 15 out of the Apocrypha. It says, "And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true." See, he said, write these prophecies down on paper, and Ezra wrote it down. This is 2 Ezra 15 and 15. It says, for the sword, and their destruction draw near. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. No, this is talking about this civil war that's coming to Babylon. Because when you go into Isaiah, let's get that. Isaiah 19. Isaiah 19 is talking about that second coming too, because it's a spiritual Egypt that's in the Bible. See, the scriptures got dual fulfillment. And I'm glad I was battling with the AI, because battling with the AI, it forced you to focus on what's going on. The scriptures got dual fulfillment. You can't go back to ancient Egypt on every time you see some Egypt in the Bible, man. It got dual fulfillment. It's a spiritual Egypt that Isaiah was prophesying against. It says, I'm going to start with verse 1. This Isaiah 19, it says, the burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rides upon a swift cloud. That swift cloud is that great mountain, that chariot, that mothership that he gonna come and bust into the atmosphere of planet Earth. It says, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst thereof of it. See, that's what it's talking about in Jeremiah. Now, Jeremiah 49 and 20, these dragons talking about, that was so they went talking about the Babylon and Nebuchadnezzar. Say the Lord ain't never came nowhere to no freaking Babylon, man. But this is what these dragons are plugged into the system. Verse 2, Isaiah 19 and 2, it says, I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Civil war in Babylon the Great America. And they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city. See, California say, hey man, we gonna leave y'all whole operation. See, we don't need to be a part of y'all American crap. We'll accede from the whole union, and we'll do our own thing. Cause Trump trying to threaten them, talking about we not gonna give you no federal aid, and you not finna. These people gonna be killing each other, man. It says, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. This is what's going to be happening here in Babylon the Great America. It says, and the spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof. That's why they ain't going to no nightclub. You ain't having no big celebration like they was having before COVID and before these the economic downfalls. See, they was partying all over the place around this place, man. It says, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they ain't listening to these idiots. See, they just going into the entertainment, and they just trying to be entertained and ignore the situation. That's what most people are doing, man. They trying to ignore the situation. But they ain't sitting around listening to none of the idiots that's running their mouth about what's going on. It says, and they shall seek to their idols. That's what I just said. They ready to go listen to some idol. What he got to say, let's listen to a song. That's why social media is so freaking popular. It says, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And then that's another thing. You got these people up in Davos, Switzerland. They doing all kind of witchcraft, man, because they like to go to the highest point of the country, city, or whatever, and do all kind of witchcraft. You got the witch, one of the top witches, talking about they was having some kind of witch seance, and one of the witches said Donald Trump is perfect for the situation. See, Now, let me get verse 4. It says, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. See, this is what so-called Donald Trump is, but see, it go further than Donald Trump, man. Being not a Jew, and these small tiny hats over there, they done infiltrated the whole country. And they've been infiltrated through the APAC. See, that APAC, all they doing is throwing money at these politicians, and the politicians having a good time, starting businesses and living on the hog, man. And they all a bunch of witches and warlocks, man. It says, a fierce king shall rule over them, says the Lord and Yahweh of hosts. So this is what's going on in Babylon. Let me go back to 2nd Ezra 15. See, it's gonna be civil war, because these people saying, oh, they not respecting the 4th Amendment. See, we can just, but they're gonna just come in our house or snatch us out the car. So now these Americans gonna get weapons, man. Just like when the economy was dropping before COVID. I think it was before COVID or after COVID. The gun sales was rising. People was at the gun store buying guns left and right, man. They was buying so many guns, it was ridiculous. Because the people was leaving the stores. The stores was shutting down. The shopping mall was being empty. This is way before COVID, man. They was at the gun store buying all kind of guns. It says, this is 2nd Ezra 15 and 16. It says, for there shall be sedition among men. Okay? And the sedition among men is going to be that these people say, oh, they going to just come in our house and forget the Constitution. They going to try to snatch up my daughter. They going to go to shooting and blowing people's heads off, man. It says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. See what they say? We're going to go door to door and snatch your behind up out of there if you aren't supposed to be in America. And we don't really care about your paperwork, man. We just going to go door to door and just start snatching up these people. If you're not white, you got to go. That's what they had the movie Civil War. He said, where you from? What kind of American are you? And the guy said, I'm from Hong Kong. Pow! Shot his behind. See, that's what's going to go down in America. It says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. See, they're going to have a whole bunch of cliques. Just like when the Civil War happened, they went and starting all these militias. It says, where was I? Oh, verse 17. It's 2nd Ezra 15 and 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Now, they're going to have roadblocks. They're going to set up their National Guard, their ICE stations or whatever the heck, man. They're going to be posted up waiting with a military truck. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. They're going to say, where your paperwork? What you coming over here to do? See, that's what they're going to be saying. Verse 18, it says, because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. See, that's why these men say, if they come and try to come in my house or snatch up my daughter, I'm going to pull out my weapon. See, they ready for the war. Because these men got children, man. See, that's why if you ain't got no kids, you in a good situation. Because these men with children, they ready to kill, boy. They probably at the gun store right now, getting bullets, getting guns. Because they saying, if these folks run up on my family, see, we gonna go to have a shootout. This is the state of mind these people is in. And they telling all their people, prepare now. You better prepare now, because when they come, you better be ready. See? It says, verse 19, it says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their good because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. See, don't let that store become empty. See, while it's already people fighting in the streets, they brought taking everything out the stove. See, all chaos is gonna pop off soon as somebody attack them ICE agents, man. And that's what they trying to do. They're trying to provoke everybody to do something to them. So once they do it, Trump can say, okay, the Insurrection Act. We're invoking the Insurrection Act. We bringing the troops to the street. See? So he just they got the perfect strategy. And we know somebody gonna slip up and do something. See, all we gotta do is just bust up on the scene with guns. And these Americans is gonna get trigger happy after a while, man. See? Then we bringing all kind of crisis actors out. They so desperate, they gonna try to bring back the Black Panthers. The Black Panthers ain't been out since 1970. But these dragons so desperate. Let's bring out the Black Panthers. That might make them provoke the situation. We can call the Insurrection Act. So nobody out listening to no Black Panthers, man. Just give some guy $20 million. He'll go do it. See, he cursing out the police with a shotgun. He ain't going to jail. Say, you working for the police, man. Nobody's gonna curse out the police with a shotgun in his hand. You got to be working with they behind. Oh, he's one of us. Don't do nothing to him. He's one of us. Just make sure you record it so them Negroes can see it at the house. While they rolling their weed up. This is 2 Ezra 15 and 19. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. See, this is what's going to be going on in Babylon and great America, man. And they going to start that draft, see. That's another thing, because while he's trying to harass these Israelites over here, Putin and the Iranians and the North Koreans gonna turn up on his behind. And NATO gonna switch out and turn up on him too. So they're gonna be trying to attack the Israelites, the Native Americans, the black, the citizen slaves, the Hispanics. We're trying to get them. And then they're gonna hit you with one of these darn situations where you got to go over here and fight these people, man. Because elders going to, the men is going to be going fighting the war. It ain't going to be nobody to plant the crops. It ain't going to be nobody to do nothing, because it's going to be all heck breaking loose, and they're going to be bringing in the soldiers. This 2 Ezra 16, 68, it says, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. See, this is what's going to be going on with these Israelites. It's going to be a burning wrath for these heathens, these Gentiles, these Edomites. That's going to be kindled over the Israelites, knowing that it's a short period of time that they got. And they know when the Israelites get power, they're going to be getting their behind whooped. It says, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you being idle with things offered unto idols. And they that consult unto them shall be had in derision. So if you say, okay, I'll take your device and put it in my butt or my brain, I'll take it. It's the only way I'm gonna eat and have a job. Okay, master, I'll take it. You're gonna be had in derision and in reproach and trodden under the foot. That's the mark of Esau, the mark of the so-called white man. Verse 7, it says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like mad men, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Why you talking about, oh, I got to get the bag. See, I ain't worried about what they talking about. I got to get the bag. Well, when you get the bag, guess who coming to get it? See, they gonna confiscate all of that crap. Oh, I'm gonna be a prepper. We're gonna prep for the situation. So he coming to get all that you prepping for. They gonna come through there and snatch everything. Like they grabbed one dude and he had his son with him. So, well, where they took the man's son, what you think you're supposed to do? We took him, we gonna take everything else he got. Verse 73, it says, 73, the second Ezra 16 and 73, then shall they be known who are my chosen. See, when all heck break loose, they gonna know who is the Lord's people, because they gonna target the Lord's people, man. Those that fear the Lord, they gonna get attacked. There's gonna be a major attack on them, and they're not gonna be looking for no Jehovah wickedness. They're not gonna be looking for no Baptists, Methodists, Episcopalians, see, Church of God. They're not gonna be looking for no Christian. They're gonna be looking for the Israelites, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, like they're doing right now. See, they ain't talking about we need to get these Christians out of our country. It's not gonna happen. They'll never come after no stinking Christian, man. They only coming after the Israelites, the descendants of slaves, the Native Americans, see, the Hispanic, because they knew the 10 tribes went down there to Brazil, Ecuador, Venezuela, Colombia, see, what's the other one? Peru, see, not even only Peru, what's the other one? Guatemala, Mexico, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Jamaica, Haiti. See, they had done sent all of them people down there on a slave ship, bringing them from the west coast of Africa. Then they was grabbing the natives here and taking them over to Europe. This is taking them to Spain and Portugal. Taking them to Britain and all these European countries, Poland, Germany, Russia. They were taking people all over the place, man. And so now you finna have these people attacking the chosen folks. Let me go back to that Revelation. Get that Revelation 12 and 17. They're not just gonna come out, they definitely not coming after no Christian, man. It says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman. This is Revelation 12 and 17. And that woman is the nation of Israel, the Israelites, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. That seed is a bloodline. It's not talking about no stinking Christian. It's not talking about no stinking Jehovah wickedness or no Muslim. It says, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yahweh Shah Mashiach. See, they're not going after a Christian or a Muslim, see, praying 5 times a day. After the seed is a bloodline, is a darn child of Jacob. You're not a child of Jacob, they're not going to be looking for you. See, because nothing, you have no blessing. You have no inheritance. See, the Lord is not going to be dealing with you, so what they got to worry about you for? See, they trying to keep their power as the Rothschild, the Rockefeller, the people's in power, man. They trying to keep their power. They ain't worried about no Christian. Oh, he's a Christian. Let's go get him. What? Now, what is Isaiah 59 and 19? It says, so they shall fear the name of the Lord Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, see, we going door to door. We need to get these Hispanics out of here, man. They just jumping the border and coming over here, even though Biden told them to come in here, and the Democrats, but we got to get them out of here. It says the spirit of Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. See, that's what they trying to say. The Lord is going to give these Negroes the spirit. We got to get rid of them before he give them the spirit and they get these superpowers. That's why we make X-Man. That's why we make Superman, Batman. Because we know the Lord going to give them superpower. Verse 20, it says, for the Redeemer shall come to Zion. No, he going to come to a Christian church. He going to come to a Jehovah Wickedness. The Redeemer shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgression, and unto them that turn from transgression in Jacob, says the Lord. See, the Redeemer not coming to redeem no Christian at no Christian church. You can hang it up, throw it in the trash. It is not going to happen. Let's see who quoted that verse in the New Testament. Apostle Paul. This is Romans 11 and 26. It says, so all Israel shall be saved. See, all the Israelites gonna be saved. You're not saving no Christian. It says, as it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer. Why? Because he gonna deliver the Israelites, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. For this is my covenant with them, when I shall take away their sin. See? He didn't make no covenant with no heathens, man. He didn't make no covenant with no Christian church. You wasting your time going up in the Christian church. You wasting your money going up in that Christian church. They're not coming after no Christians, man. These niggas swear they thought, oh, you gonna come after the Christians when the government come after the Christians. It'll never happen. He coming after the Israelites. That's who they coming after. Let's see here. Matthew 24. What do you say? What's gonna be the sign of your covenant of the end of the world? Matthew 24. Let's see. Hold on. Let's start at verse 21. And look at. I'm gonna start at 22 to get some kind of context. It say, but pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. 21. For then shall be great tribulation. See, it might be next winter, all heck break loose at a high level. It says, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And the winter ain't over yet. So all heck can go down, man. Verse 22, it says, and escape those days, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. Meaning none of the Israelites is going to be saved if the Lord don't come back and save them. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So he going to bust up on the scene with those chariots, see, to save the elect before these dragons try to exterminate they behind. It says, then if any man say unto you, lo, here's a Mashiach there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Mashiach and false prophets, false Israelites. Says, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it was possible, it's not possible, they shall deceive the very elect. See, they're going to try to deceive the elect, but that's not going to work. But they trying to exterminate the Israelites. Let's get that in Psalms 83. This is where I'm at close to an hour. Psalms 83, I'm going to start at verse 2. It says, for lo, your enemies make a tumult, and they that hate you have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against your people. See, they are all in the Davos of Switzerland. See, making all kind of plans. We got to get all the money and put it together. We need to have we need to unify the money so we can communicate and do our thing together. See, this is what the World Economic Forum and these Edomites is talking about. And they're doing all kind of witchcraft. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against your people and consulted against your hidden one. And the Israelites is hidden because they'll never expose the truth about who is the real Israelites. Verse 4 says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. See, we get to cut them off. We need to tell all these pastors, come over here to the state of Israel with the Israelis, the tiny small hats, and we need to have a conference with y'all and tell y'all what to go back and tell these people. Tell them that them Israelites don't know what they're talking about. Verse 5, it says, for they have consulted together with one consent. And they've been doing this with the UN, in the UN building. See, they've been talking about how we gonna keep these Negroes and Hispanics down. It says, they are confederate against you, the tabernacles of Edom, the so-called white man, see, the American Empire. And the Ishmaelites, that's these Arabs, they right in cahoots with the so-called white man. You saw the Saudi Arabians over there making major deals with them. And Moab, the Chinese. See, they got a Chinese store on every corner, man. They over here living good. See, getting the top education. It says, and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon the Japanese, Trump complaining about all this money he giving the Japanese. We giving the Japanese all this money. We got to stop giving them all this money. It says, and Amalek. See, they giving Amalek all kind of tax money, man. They giving these people all kind of money. Billions of dollars. And all of these nations that's non-Israelites, they in cahoots and they getting rich with the so-called white man. This is what Revelation 18 is talking about. They all living deliciously. Let me quote that one. Let me get that one instead of quoting it. It's Revelation 18:3. It says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants, see, they merchants, they just over here making money off of the enslavement of the Israelites. It says, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy. And I want to get that other one too, because it verse 7. This still in Revelation 18. It says, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. See, this place got it coming, boy. It says, for she has said in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow. So they thinking that they gonna get away with it. Oh, well, look what Brazil did. Brazil was a harsher slavery than what we gave. Y'all should be happy that you came to America as slaves, because if you would have went to Brazil, woo, you would have really had it. Say, you dragon. Ended up with that verse 8. It says, therefore shall her plague come in one day. In one day, these dragons gonna realize that, man, we done messed up big time. Death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire. How is she gonna get burnt with fire? Because of Russia and all these other nations that Jeremiah 50 and 9, 8 or 9, said they're gonna shoot them arrows, them nuclear missiles over here. See, what you say, like something expert, whoever expert in making weapons, they gonna, which is Putin. They got Satan 1, Satan 2. They gonna shoot these missiles over here and blow this place to smithereens. It says, let me jump down to verse 9. It said, the kings of the earth who committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall well over her. See, the NATO and all these people that was making money with them, see, they gonna be done join Russia, and they gonna be mad that they had to get rid of all that money that they was making with America. It says, and lament for her when they see the smoke of her burning. They gonna say, man, we made some money with Babylon the Great America, but it's too bad we had to blow them up. They had got that Trump in there and whoever else, and the Civil War broke out, and man, we just had to blow that place up. We mad that we had to blow the place up, because we was making good money with America. See, the China man gonna regret it. So we was, man, our whole country done got an upgrade because Americans helped us get live deliciously with them. Jump down to verse 18, well 17. It says, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. See, all them riches we had with America, we was making good money with them. I'm gonna jump down to verse 18. It says, and so cried when they saw the smoke of her burning. You're not gonna see no smoke of some religion burning. I don't know how these people ever convinced me to believe some mess like that. Oh, it's the smoke of her burning. They're talking about an empire of false religion, the Vatican, the Babylon, and all this ignorant crap, the Pope. See, it's talking about America. It says, saying, what city is like unto this great city? What city is like unto Babylon the Great America? You're not gonna find it. You're gonna keep looking and keep searching. Now I went into the AI and I say, well, give me a comparison. What other place that can compare to this darn description that's in Revelation 17 and 18? They couldn't come up with nothing. Said, well, we can't come up with anything pretty much. They only America can match the situation. So it's undeniable. Let's see, the AI not gonna be on no BS. They're not gonna shoot you a lie just to see. They're not gonna get in their feelings and shoot you a lie. It's unbiased. This gonna tell you honestly. I say, give me I told them, let's see who get closer to the truth. What scenario is closer to the truth? Mainstream Christianity or the Israelite doctrine? And then they say, okay, well, we'll give you some strong points and you some weak points. And the weak point that they gave the Israelites, they say your weak points is something about archaeology or some mess, man. But they didn't have no weak points to give. See, but they said, but your assessment is more accurate than these Christians. You going straight off the scripture, and these Christians just talking about some symbolic crap. Everything is symbolic. When it say eat them, that's symbolic. When it say you're gonna get blown up by a nuclear missile, that's symbolic. See, everything was symbolic. But the doctrine that's coming from the Israelites is the literal what the word is saying. So the AI ain't gonna tell no lies, man. And these people is finished. They doctrine is stupid. They going up in the churches laughing, dancing, and singing and all that crap, and ain't learning nothing. You ask them what the scripture is talking about, and they don't know what the heck it's talking about. Only thing they know, they go up in them churches and they give that money to that stinking pastor who is a 501c3 government agent, see, and they don't know what the heck going on. But I'm gonna leave it there. Let me get this Daniel. So this is what it's all about. This Daniel chapter 7 verse 18, it says, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. See, not just Yahweh Shai, the saints, the Israelites, is going to take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. See, not going to be no Christian church that's going to take the kingdom. See, the Jehovah Wickedness, they going to take the kingdom. No, man. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, descendants of slaves, that's who's going to take the kingdom. The ones that turn away from ungodliness. This is who the Redeemer is going to save and give the kingdom to. But I'm going to leave it there. Give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakadash. Double honors to the elders pushing the truth. Peace of the elect, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the descendants of slaves scattered around the globe on slave ships and through many captivities. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.